Call Allah Lala Hayinawa Yahawa Bashim Yahawa Shah Mashiach wa Malaki Bashim Hawa Kagurash Barakathum Tawara Battle Bar Kwam Yashrawa. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, great millstone teacher of David, to the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine of city of Shalom. Today we're going to get into the governor of Florida. I'm sure y'all have heard about this already. Well, probably because it's kind of new. The governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, has banned African American Studies, AP African American Studies in Florida schools, which is cool because that ain't our history nowhere. You know, he's actually doing us a favor by stopping the lies. But to him, he thinks that this is actual truth. So in his mind, he's doing something wicked. But to the Israelites who know we are not, that know that they're not African American, he's doing us a favor. Stop spreading lies anyway. See what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get one scripture before we get into the video. But yeah, and you know, you Black Americans, y'all bad about this. Let them lies go. First of all, you're not African American. That term came from two Edomites, Scipio Africanus and Amerigo Vespucci. We are not African Americans. We are Israelites. So let it go because your true history is this Bible and this Apocrypha. But let me get one real quick. Hold on, y'all. I got it. Here you go. This is Micah, the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 2. And they cover fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Now, I read that to say this. If that was our history, which it's not, but if it was, they would be oppressing a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. They don't want you, if this was true, this African American history, if it was accurate as far as explaining who we are, they would be oppressing a man in his house, a man in his heritage. You see what I'm saying? So let's go and get to this video real quick. Okay, it says Florida bans what is African American studies. I can't see that. But let's go and let the video play.
Told you this was going to happen. Now it is illegal in the state of Florida to teach African American studies. Yes, it's against the law. Well, that's according to the administration of this fella, Governor Ron DeSantis out of Florida. Let me give you the background. So the governor,
Ron DeSantis. Now, I want to make this point real quick. They only concerned about the Black people, so-called Black people, right? Why is that? Even when they launched this disease with this virus a couple years ago, what did they say? They said, we want to make sure the African Americans get it first. When did you ever care about us like that? Never. That was a red flag in itself. We got to get the Black and brown jabbed up first. No, you don't. That's a red flag to us. We know don't accept nothing free from Esau because it's going to be detrimental to us but beneficial to him. Now, I'm analyzing this guy, Ron DeSantis, like my man just said. Why the concern? And you notice they ain't banning no other nation's history. They're not banning they're not banning other white history. No, they want to flaunt that. They want to flaunt those lies to make them more superior. But why are they trying to why are they trying to suppress this? This is why. Because if they teach African American history in these schools, a lot of people are awake to the truth right now, and it's going to contradict. And when something contradicts, it leads to questions. Those questions lead to answers. Answers lead to the truth, dispelling the lie. So in this case, they don't even want you talking about it in school. That's why they removed it. But Esau, I mean, you only have a short time, man. It's only so much you can hide. It's only so much you can run from. So I mean, this ain't nothing. Let's let it play.
Governor has rejected a new AP course that stands for Advanced Placement in African American Studies from being taught in high schools. High schools. It's his latest action to keep woke conversations and lessons out of school. So let's dig into this.
See why? Because conversations lead to questions, and questions lead to answers. They don't want that.
DeSantis officially banned, if you remember, the course in a letter from the state education department to the college board, the organization that administers college readiness exams like the SAT. They also oversee advanced placement courses, AP, which allows students to earn college credits in subjects like English and chemistry. In a January 12th letter to the college board, the Florida Education Department said the course is inexplicably contrary to Florida law and significantly lacks educational value. I need you to think about this statement. Think about this statement. They're saying, well, one, if you teach African American studies, it is contrary to Florida law. And it actually lacks educational value. Please understand, they have courses that literally teach you how to basket weave.
Yeah.
And that is allowable under the elective category of the educational system. But you cannot teach a course called African American Studies. So it is a double whammy. It is against the law statutorily. And their opinion, their personal opinion is it lacks the educational credibility it should have.
They right. I mean, in an indirect way, they are correct. It lacks educational credibility because they're all lies. I mean, when I was in school, all the history classes I took, and whenever they start talking about quote unquote African Americans, they started the story in slavery. That's where they always started, from slavery. We wasn't always slaves. For example, the Dark Ages. They called it the Dark Ages because they were on the bottom and we were on the top, and we were ruling Europe. Right after the Dark Ages came the Renaissance. That's when we went into captivity, and Esau got back on top, and he started spreading lies. He started covering the faces of the judges thereof, taking paintings and whitening them up, whitewashing everything. So they are correct. They don't know they're correct because they're stupid. You see what I'm saying? See, they so hell bent on trying to do something to the so-called African Americans. They don't know that this is actually a good thing because you suppressing lies. You see what I'm saying, people? Now, let's get, this is in the Apocrypha, the rest of Esther chapter 13, verse 5. And it says, seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men, differing in the strange manner of their laws, and evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can, that our kingdom may not be firmly established. See, that's what they think they're doing. They think they're suppressing knowledge to keep us at the bottom. No, Get rid of them lies. We don't care because our true history is in this Bible in the Apocrypha. Let's go.
Now, you do realize that if it's already against the law, they do not need to present their opinion as to the educational prowess of the program. They decided to insert that. Why? Because they couldn't help themselves. Why?
Just because Edomites are emotional. They're very emotional. They make laws based on their emotions. They govern based on their emotions. They judge based on their emotions. That's why they are unfit to rule, because they are emotional. It's called white fragility. Let's go.
Is it against the law? Well, remember, all of these bills that permeated from the so-called anti-critical race theory bills were aimed to do one thing: to distort the history of this country, to eliminate the reality of bias, prejudice, and racism by white men, in particular, racist white men in this country, to present a false narrative, because they know that the children in those schools are the future leaders of this country.
Yep.
They also know that the leaders of the country, the future leaders of the country, will be able to solve the problems that they left, which
Now solve the problems that they created. Let's get this is the book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He also shall stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Yeah, through the stroke of a pen, signing a law. Now you can't teach what they think is our history because Esau's emotion. He know his time is almost up, so he doing all the little mischief he can so that our kingdom may not be firmly established. Now let's get Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. This is an unrighteous decree, if it was our true history, and right grievousness which they prescribe. Let's get they ain't suppressing no other people's history but ours. They ain't suppressing nobody else but us. You don't think that's funny? You don't think that's a coincidence? And another reason they don't want to teach it is because they don't want the truth to come out about them. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. See, their glory, they glorified their life. They were glorified in their lives. But when the truth comes out, it's gonna bring forth their shame. And they don't want that. Matter of fact, I think last year sometimes the same governor for Florida, Governor DeSantis, he tried to make it a law where you could not make so-called white people feel ashamed about the true history of this country. You couldn't even talk about it. See how they try to suppress the truth through their laws? Let me get it again. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall turn unto thee, and shame spewing shall be on thy glory. Example, critical race theory. They don't want the truth to come out about what they've been doing since the beginning of time, since they came back in power. They don't want that to come out because it's going to bring shame upon their glory. Look at all the movies, how they whitewashed all the movies. That movie 300, for example. That movie 300, those were not Edomites, those were Israelites. Just like all the other biblical movies that they put out, whitewashing them, putting themselves up to be the greatest people on the planet. See, let me ask you this: the greatest people don't have to lie about everything. The greatest people don't have to cover up and lie about evidence and true statements and facts. The greatest people don't have to give channel strikes and take down channels because the truth is being revealed about them. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. All this emotion. There is no, even if this was our history once again, there is no reason to oppress, to suppress it, only because they don't want the truth to come out. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 16. Woe to thee, O land, thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. Yeah, woe to the old land. They operating straight on emotion like women. Instead of governing with logic, they govern with emotion. Now, when it says that and thy princes eat in the morning, it's because of the fact that when the real kings were in rulership, the real Israelites, they would they wouldn't eat breakfast. They would tend to the people, the business of the people first, and then they would eat. But see, these princes, these Edomites, they eat in the morning. That when they said that these princes eat in the morning, these Edomites, it's because it's saying that they don't handle the business of the people. They eat first. When the Israelite kings, they handled the business of the people first, then ate. They put the people first. These idiots does not. Job chapter 30, verse 8. They were the children of fools, your children of base men. They were bowed in the earth. Job chapter 13, verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are oppositions of no value. Now it takes a special person to ban lies, even though it's a good thing. But he thinks it's true.
If that happens, it becomes an indictment on their own legacy, their own tradition, and their own leadership. They're not protecting.
Bam. See, he just said it. In so many words, it's going to bring shame on their glory. Let's run it back.
In particular, racist white men in this country, to present a false narrative because they know that the children in those schools are the future leaders of this country.
Yep.
They also know that the leaders of the country, the future leaders of the country, will be able to solve the problems that they left, which if that happens, it becomes an indictment on their own legacy, their own tradition, and their own leadership. They're not protecting children, ladies and gentlemen. They're protecting their own asses.
They're protecting those secrets. They don't want their glory to turn into shame. That's what it is. They don't want the truth coming out. That's why. Let me see if I get some more scriptures. Bam. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their accounts from the Lord Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? See? They think they slick, but no, they're doing exactly what the Lord wants them to do. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 12. If a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked. Told you, from the president down to the governors, down to the mayors, everybody in politics is corrupt. Now let's get Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination. Verse 17. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Esau is guilty of all 3. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 17. He that is angry dealeth foolishly. See, emotional men. When you angry, full of emotion, you deal foolishly. You make bad decisions. And a man of wicked devices is hated. This man is hated all over the country right now because he's trying to suppress so-called African American history. Let's see what else I got. Psalm chapter 58, verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Yep. Psalm chapter 52, verse 3, thou lovest evil more than good and lying rather than to speak righteousness, say lie. Yep.
By manipulating curriculum intentionally. Think about this. They lie and tell you we're banning critical race theory, and in the bill itself, the terminology critical race theory doesn't even exist. They never banned it. I would have been okay with them banning critical race theory because it's not taught in K through 12 education. That would have been fine with me. But they didn't do that. What they banned was an instructor's ability, a teacher's ability to simply teach the truth to the curriculum.
That's it. That's why they're trying to ban critical race theory. Critical race theory, first of all, like the elder said, they're not theories, they are facts. The things that they're trying to hide actually happen. So there's no theory about it. They don't want all these heinous acts coming out about how up in Canada, for example, when they murdered all those Indian children and buried them under a Catholic church. Yeah, they don't want stuff like that coming out because of the fact all these pictures coming out about these picnics, which came from pick a nigga, where after church Edomites would go they would kidnap a black person and hang him. And it'll be a picnic. It'd be like a festival. They'd be out there taking pictures, burning the body, chopping up the body, passing out body parts and all this madness. But see, the reason they're trying to suppress it now because people are recognizing their relatives in these pictures and they don't want it to get out. So they're gonna give it a false name called critical race theory, which ain't nothing but critical race facts, because the things we bring out that they did to us really happened. So ain't nothing theoretical about it.
When you go to school, I've been a teacher for many years. You don't go there just to learn an academic education. You go there to learn a social education as well. There has to be a sense of morality contextualized in the curriculum in order for education to be effective. Who cares how much you know if nobody likes who you are? You have to teach social dynamics with the curriculum. In the summer of 2022, the College Board announced a pilot program to offer high school students an evidence-based introduction to African American studies. Would be launching in 60 high schools across the country.
See, this right here is a fallacy in itself. There's no such thing as African American studies. Number one, because they're two different people, two different nations. Israelites are not Africans, and Africans are not Israelites. So that's a farce in itself. That's a fallacy. This is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbor, and he is not. Spoil means to rob. The reason he ain't being robbed because he's the one doing the robbing. Luke chapter 8, verse 17, for nothing is secret that should not be made manifest, neither anything hid that should not be known and come abroad. Yeah, their wickedness is coming abroad and they don't like it. Oh well, who the hell told you to lie in the first place? We don't care. We exposing your ass. Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 29. The people of the land have used oppression and exercised bribery and have vexed the poor and needy. Yeah, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. See? Let's see what else we got. You trying to suppress a bunch of lies. That's not our history. It's our history in this country, but it's not our complete history.
during the 2022-2023 school year and will be set to expand to other campuses the following year. In response to Florida's move, the College Board told the Daily Beast that, and I quote, "We look forward to publicly releasing the updated course framework as soon as it is completed and well before this class is widely available in American high schools." Understand what they're saying.
What is that? Commercial.
The framework is not complete, but their rejection is. There's more. In a separate statement, the College Board said, like all new AP courses, AP African American Studies is undergoing a rigorous multi-year pilot phase, collecting feedback from teachers, students, scholars, and policymakers. The process of piloting and revising,
See how Esau's so creative with his words? This ain't nothing but a lie, an excuse as to why they don't want to teach you. This is not the real reason. This is the lie they're gonna feed you. Esau loves his words, don't he?
Course frameworks is a standard part of any AP course, and frameworks often change significantly as a result. DeSantis plays an active role in this process in stoking social and political anxieties, primarily among white Americans, that stem from conversations about race.
There it is, right there. See, that white fragility showing. DeSantis plays an active role in stoking social and political anxieties, primarily among white Americans. That's why last year he wanted to pass that law where you couldn't make Edomites feel ashamed about their true history. See, he want to keep them all nice and cozy in their little denial bubble, in their little cognitive dissonance bubble. Yeah, that's DeSantis right there. He don't want that history to make the other Edomites feel bad, so you can't talk about
and gender that occur in K through 12 public school campuses or on those campuses. In April 2022, he signed the Stop Woke Act.
See, told you last year, April 2022, he signed the Stop Woke Act, which severely limits race-based discussions at school. I told you, because this is why they don't want to teach it, because conversation leads to questions and questions lead to answers that they don't want to reveal, because it will bring forth their shame. But they still lying about it. See, that's the insanity of Esau. He don't want his lies to get out, but yet still he continues to lie. They lie about the lies that they lied about. That's the insanity and madness of Esau. That's why he's not fit to rule. That's why he got to get the hell up out of here.
Which severely limits race-based discussions at schools. Wow. Limiting race-based discussions at school. All right, my dear brother, thoughts here.
All right, so.
Okay, we can come out here. Point's been made. Yeah, man, even if that was our history, if that was our true biblical history, it would be wicked. But he thinks he's doing a good thing because of the fact that he's protecting his fellow Edomites. He's protecting their feelings, their emotions. You can't make us feel ashamed about what we did and what we see. It's illegal to make us feel ashamed. So we can't talk about it, right? But at the same time, never forget the Holocaust. Never forget 9/11. All this bullshit, all these psyops. Never forget. See how they get down? Sirach chapter 10, verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. We're in the process of that right now. Edomites coming out of power. And it's about time. Because everybody tired of their bullshit. Even other Edomites are tired of Edomite bullshit and lies. But like Job chapter 9, verse 24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, because the faces of the judges thereof not where who is he? The earth was given to these wicked people. So they gonna lie, steal, murder, and lie about it all. See. Yeah, that's why they've been exposed right now. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 8. Shall I not in that day say of the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom? That's why they getting sloppy right. He took what they left hand of wisdom and understanding out of Mount Esau. Your people before your place. That's why everything they do and say look and sound stupid, because the Lord took their wisdom and left them out there. Job chapter 15, verse 35. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth mischief. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Let's see. Yeah. Bam. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 25. When he speaketh fair, believeth him not, but there are 7 abominations in his heart. Verse 26, whose hatred is covered by deceit. See, his wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation. That means all the other nations gonna know who this devil is when by the time the Lord get through with him. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, his neighbor, and he is not. Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Rejoice, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein, in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down upon you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. They know they got a short time. Matter of fact, a couple days ago, they readjusted doomsday clock to 90 seconds till midnight. So while you dumbass Babylonians out there still believing that this country gonna go on, guess what? The people that run this earth don't think that. So where you get that shit from, you better bust that little cognitive dissonance denial bubble and come to reality, because it's about to go down. You believe in this country, but the people running it don't. You're gonna be stuck out there. See? Proverbs chapter 14, verse 16. A wise man feareth and departed from evil, but the fool rages and is confident. I don't think this place is gonna be destroyed. So you investing all your hope and faith into the United States. When this place gets destroyed, then what you gonna do? Edomites, they got all their chips in. They know that this place is coming to an end, but at the same time, they're gonna try to fight for a tooth and nail. They gonna try to fight the Lord, but they shall be broken without hand, roughly paraphrasing the scripture. So they all chips in wickedness. They putting all their chips on wickedness. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come for us. See, they think ain't that gonna happen to them. For we have made lies our refuge. See, all they can do is lie to protect what's left of their piece of shit kingdom. And under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Under falsehood, they hid themselves. They the Jamaicans, they the South Africans, they the Europeans, they the Hamites, they the Egyptians, they the Israelites, they everybody except Esau. Under falsehood have they hid themselves. They love to give that little backstory. Oh, where you from? Oh, well, my grandfather migrated here from Germany and all this bullshit. Yeah, you Edomite. Because only Edomites have backstories like that. Trying to hide yourself under somebody else's identity because you don't have an identity of your own. You don't have a culture of your own. Edomites, y'all so backwards. You either love somebody, how you love and hate somebody at the same time. You hate us, but at the same time, you want to be us. You hate the Mexicans, but you adopted their culture. Mardi Gras, Cinco de Mayo. See what I'm saying? Psalm chapter 73, verse 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Point's been made, man. These people, they all over the place. He going all out to suppress some lies. Because he think it's the truth. Israelites, we don't care. That's not our history. We're not African Americans. Told you, Israelites, your true history is in this Bible. You got to be crazy as hell to trust your enemy to tell you the truth about your history and your people. No. Let me get one more. We can close. One of my favorites. Psalm chapter 73, verse 17. Until I went into the sanctuary of Yahweh, then understood I their end. Meaning, until I stepped into the sanctuary of Yahweh, meaning the truth of this book and understanding everything about it, then understand I their end. Meaning, we understand that regardless of what this devil does and what he says, he's still gonna end up in them chains. He's still gonna end up in cages. Matter of fact, we're gonna put Edomites in zoos so the animals of the planet can see who the real beasts are. Call all you lala, how you know, how Bashim Yahweh Shah, Mashiach, Wamalaki, Bashim, Hawa, Kakarash, Barak, Thumb, the water, Baba, Bawa, Kwam, Yashbala, Shalom.